Hello everybody, Sonetta here, and welcome to another VGC laddering video. Today we are going to be playing with this team that you see here, which is a Groudon Sunroom team. We're going to be running a lot of hyper offense here with some sleep support from Venusaur, as well as a Trick Room mode and standard Incineroar support to try and stop opposing Trick Room if we don't want it to go up, and for trying to stop other stuff too on top of that. So overall, we have a pretty interesting Groudon set here with AV. We're going to be running Precipice Blades, Iron Head, Fire Punch, and Rock Slide. I feel like it's a pretty decent coverage set to run with 4 moves, and then on top of that, AV gives us a lot of extra, well, not really extra special defense, but because the special defense stat on Groudon is already pretty lacking, but it definitely helps cover some of the weaknesses that it does have, and it allows it to survive some hits that it wouldn't normally survive. So that's really helpful for sure coming into this team. We have a very offensive Charizard here with Heat Wave, Air Slash, Scorching Sands to help cover the Zacian matchup, and as well to hit Incineroar super effectively too if we need to. Let's see. We have Venusaur here with Sleep Powder, Sludge Bomb, Energy Ball. We are going to be running the Focus Sash set here. I was originally running Wide Lens, but I opted for Sash instead, just to be able to survive some hits, because we are going to be modest, so we're going to be surviving, some one-shot hits that we wouldn't be surviving normally, and just to add some overall staying power to Venusaur, in addition to its really strong offensive prowess. We are also going to be running a Porygon 2 with Trick Room, Tri-Attack, Eerie Impulse, and Recover. This allows us to shut down some very strong offensive threats like Galarian Moltres, Yveltal, and also to neuter threats such as Shadow Calyrex Rider and other special attacking threats that threaten us, in addition to Zapdos and stuff like that too. So I feel like it's really helpful here, especially with Groudon being kind of still soft on the specially defensive side. It definitely allows us some wiggle room to, help him survive longer. We also have Gastrodon here, which has been putting in a lot of work for me too. I've been playing this team offline, and Gastrodon has actually been showing to prove to be quite a partner for this team. It allows some very safe switch-ins into some Kyogre teams, and also just rain teams in general that don't have water spread moves. In addition to that, even with water spread moves, I have some pretty decent resistances on, well, I have 1 resistance with Venusaur, 1 immunity with Gastro, and then I have some just general bulk to take some hits like that. But then on top of that, you get a special attack boost, which is also very strong for a Dynamax option. And you also have, Recover and Yawn on this set too, which allow for some really good late game stall and some sleep tactics with double sleep with Venusaur, which is also very interesting. Running out the team, we do have support Incineroar with Fake Out, Flare Blitz, Parting Shot, and Taunt, basically allowing us to get Trick Room up pretty reliably, to be able to fake out stuff, add some extra speed control to that team, as well as rotate out Incineroar with Parting Shot, get Weather where we need to, also potentially Parting Shot out into Gastrodon if we need to cover a water move, and then having access to Taunt here for if we do get Trick Room up, or if we're just able to taunt like a Monsecond, even then, just having that offensive threat with Taunt to, be able to be a bit more safe in that regard versus Prankster Mons and other fun Mons that love to like Swords Dance in front of you and stuff like that. So regardless, this is a pretty fun team. So without further ado, we can probably go ahead and get started. If you do see you guys want to try out this team, just feel free to. The code's right below, so if you guys like what you see, definitely try it out. Like I did say before, we have been laddering a bit with this team already, so we've made it some pretty far. We made it pretty high up super early on in the first couple of days of ladder, but then we started falling off because I got tilted and started just losing a couple games in a row, but we're still on decent track to make it far, so I'm really curious to see how far we can go this season. So right off the bat too, we find opponent immediately, which is really nice. So let's see here. Alright, so we're going to be playing against Song, And they're going to have a team of Tapu Fini, Venusaur, Thundurus, Incineroar, Stakataka, and Groudon. So they're definitely going for some Defiant stuff there to protect Groudon and Staka, which is really interesting. They also have a Fast Sun option in Venusaur. We could lead Trick Room here because we do have Porygon 2. I would normally lead Incineroar P2 into this matchup, but P2 Gastro is P2 Groudon is probably also one option here we can go for. P2 Venusaur is another one potentially. I'm sorry, P2 Charizard, a decent one here too. We are modest Venusaur, so if they are Chlorophyll timid, then we outspeed them under Trick Room. So that could be a potentially good switch in later. I'm not really sure about wanting to bring Incineroar here with the Thundurus, but I do feel like it will be really good to lead here into the potential Venusaur Groudon lead. I want to bring Groudon in the back for sure, and then I think I want to bring Charizard for a late game max potentially. It's going to be a pretty interesting game here. I could have also brought Venusaur for the Venusaur Mirror under Trick Room, but overall I feel like my options are pretty good here starting out, especially with leading Incineroar. Even if they do lead like Stakataka, Thundurus, or like Groudon Thundurus, we can still provide some offensive pressure. But they do lead with the Thundurus Stamina. Let's see. Okay, so they do get the Defiant Boost right off rip. It's unfortunate. So they might potentially max Thundurus right off rip, but I'm unsure. I do definitely want to save Charizard for max potentially, because we could potentially just sweep this team with it, outside of Fini, of course. But Charizard is looking very strong here in the back. So right now, I think the play, low-key, I would want to fake out, and try attack potentially, but I also think Taunt is a very strong option here as well. I'm really curious to see how this works out. And they are going to max Thundurus turn 1. Okay, so they're probably not going for Trick Room. Turn this down a little bit. Jeez, that's loud. Okay, let me turn this game down a bit. Okay. Alright, so we see the Stakataka Protect here. Okay. Probably wanting us to set up Trick Room itself. Yeah, because it's going from Max Knuckle, Nocta rates its speed, into the Porygon, and that will not take it out. Okay. That is a pretty scary situation right there. Probably expecting them to set up Trick Room. If we can get a burn here on Thundurus, that'd be great. No burn. Okay. So we might just lose P2 here, which isn't terribly the worst thing ever. I'm going to try and go for Recover just to be safe, and I'm going to Parting Shot the Stakataka slot. So if we do lose P2 here, we can Parting Shot out into Groudon Charizard. And as long as they don't Trick Room themselves, we should be fine. But even then, we get a -1, or we get Stakataka down to 0, so... But this is a pretty rough turn here. Leading Charizard, Groudon actually might have been the play. Seeing that my opponent did have Trick Room as well as I did to potentially counter the Sun matchup. So this is a really interesting matchup to go into. And they do switch out the Stakataka, bringing Groudon. Okay. I think that's okay, to be honest. Max Airstream into Incineroar takes it out. Okay, so we do not get the Parting Shot off. That means we do get the Recover, though, now. So we could set up Trick Room of our own, potentially. Could have also been a very solid turn to Trick Room as well. So they do have their Groudon on the field, so I could just bring in Charizard here and Max, potentially. This is the Trick Room option, or the Trick Room threat is off the field currently. So Charizard outspeeds pretty much everything. Thundurus is still a threat to it, though. They could bring in Charizard, switch to Groudon, potentially. They could also just play it safe, though. Yeah, Wild Charge just destroys me. Okay. And then it does outspeed me as well. Okay. Just try and bait it out and see what happens. For this position then, I think I do kind of want to go for a Trick Room here. I could also just max... I could go for Trick Room Max Guard. Could be a really good play. I think I'm going to go for that. Because then, the only thing I have to worry about then is the Groudon. Thundurus loses his turn of Max. I could also... this is a little challenging here. But I think I'm going to go with that. The other play here was to do the bait and switch into the Charizard slot with Groudon. But then they could also just potentially airstream into that slot and we lose Charizard regardless. So I think the safest play here is to max Charizard. +1 Wild Charge might not KO us if they lose their max. So this is... we'll see. They do go for airstream into P2. Hopefully this does not take us out, and it does, unfortunately. So that's going to be unfortunate there. So we could have probably freely wildfired, unfortunately. That's how it goes sometimes. Especially in best of one. So they do go for the Stone Edge from the Groudon. Okay. So let's see. The immediate threat here is probably still going to be the Thundurus. But we do have a chance to live at +1. I'm still unsure of the item. Could be AV potentially. Or is it Life Orb and I just have not been paying attention? Because I don't think Tri Attack did that much damage. It is at +2 now as well. Yeah, +2 just takes us out. So yeah, we needed to get that Trick Room up there. So pretty much this game is most likely lost. Unless they just miss a Wild Charge. But I do not believe you can miss that move. So I believe that will be the end of the game. I could go for the Double Protect here. I could go for the Double Protect Rock Slide, and then the Rock Slide takes out the Thundurus. That's probably our only win condition. And we missed the Double Guard. And we go down. It's unfortunate. Yeah, so that first game definitely could have went better. We probably misplayed a couple times. The lead could have been better as well into that matchup. I just didn't want to go straight Sun Mirror there. But the Thundurus does go down. But their Groudon does outspeed ours. And that will be the end of the game, unfortunately. Well played there by them. They did a very good job there of positioning themselves where they needed to and targeting the correct threats that we had on our side of the field. After that turn 1 Incineroar lead, maybe that Incineroar lead probably was not the best because they automatically go for the threat of maxing Thundurus at +1. So definitely probably the correct lead was probably to lead Venu and or Charizard just to cover the matchup lead. So, it's all good though. definitely take our fair share of losses as they come, but it's definitely not the end of the world. Take those, build upon them. That's how we improve. So, I'm gonna move on over to game number 2 here today as soon as we can find an opponent. But definitely need to probably understand these lead matchups a bit better and at least try and scout out exactly what they're gonna go for. I definitely should have looked at the team being very similar to mine and be like, okay, well, they have Sunroom as well, so they could potentially lead Trick Room lead with Thundurus. I did consider that, but I don't think I really thought they were going to bring it, and I didn't weigh the risk of leading Incineroar versus Thundurus immediately, so. But we are going to be facing against a Rain team here with Tailwind, Tornadus, Kyogre. Also have Swift Swim. Also have an option to go for Regieleki for speed control, Kartana, and Incineroar. So this seems like a pretty decent game for Venusaur outside of the Kartana and the Tornadus, but the Tornadus really isn't going to be doing too much. I could also bait with Kyogre, with Charizard Incin potentially, or like Charizard Groudon, have Gastro come in too. But I am really liking a Porygon Venusaur lead here. And I also want Gastro in the back, and I want Groudon as well. I really like this because this covers a lot of options here. I could also just lead Charizard Venu. I don't necessarily need Porygon here. Now I'm gonna lead Charizard Venu with Groudon Gastro in the back. So that way we can potentially bait the Regieleki if they lead that with either Gastro or Groudon, or we could bait the Kyogre or Kingdra with Gastro as well. So that covers a bunch of options. They could potentially also lead, whatchamacallit? They could also potentially lead Tornadus Kingdra, which is one of the reasons I was originally considering leading P2 for the Trick Room to cover Tailwind and or Rain Dance. So, but we are just going to see Tornadus Kyogre lead coming from them. So let's see where this takes us here. So Drizzle does come out. So the real question is if they're going to go for Rain Dance here, expecting us to switch in, or if, let's see. Kyogre space 90, Venusaur is like a lot less than that. Venusaur's base 80. So if they do set up Tailwind, we don't outspeed it, but then we do nerf the overall damage output that it does give. So I think the play here is to Sleep Powder the Kyogre potentially, maybe even just Protect, just to see what they do. It could also max the Kyogre here, which could be very detrimental, but I feel like double Protect here, just to see what they're going to go for. I kind of want to switch in Gastro, but they do turn 1 max here instead of going for... They might do Tailwind turn 1 max into Charizard, which could be pretty fatal. So probably changing the weather here was the smartest thing to do. But I was covering the double Protect for a Tailwind Water Spout as well. Let's see. So a Gastro switch here could have actually been really good here if they go for Max Geyser into the Charizard slot. So we probably are going to see a Tailwind come out from the Tornadus as well. Yeah, we do see Tailwind, so that's going to be very annoying to beat here. What do we see? We see Max Hailstorm come in. Okay. That's not terrible, to be honest. They don't get the Rain Boost anymore. They still have the option to go for Max Geyser. However, I am okay with that currently, because if they do, it would be mitigated damage. So, I think I actually do want to max the Venusaur here. They do have Kartana in the back as well. Could just go for Max Hailstorm again. I'm going to go for the Vine Lash onto the Kyogre slot, and I'm going to switch in Gastrodon just to cover the Geyser play. Because we don't outspeed it with Tailwind up, so I don't feel like there's any reason to bring in... wow, that was bold. Okay. To bring in Groudon just yet. Because I believe we will need it for late game to deal with Regieleki if they do have it in the back, and to also help Charizard deal with Kartana as well. Or just to help mitigate rain stuff versus Kartana. So, potentially they were guessing the Sleep Powder into that, or they were just like conserving Tornadus for late game here. So Kyogre does go for the Max Geyser and the Gastrodon Storm Drain, redirects it, and we get a special attack boost. Nice. And the Vine Lash comes out, and Kyogre should go down. No, okay. I'm messing up that calc in my head. KO's non-Max Kyogre. That's right. Okay. Now, though, we do have a bit of advantage here now. They can Geyser if they want to. But we also have the threat of the switch now. Cortana also outspeeds. This is a pretty tough situation here because I don't want to just sack off Groudon here into this slot here. So I think actually maybe going for Yawn could be good for us. But we also do run the risk of losing Gastrodon here. Because I don't want to just switch Groudon into that slot, because then it will go down. Kyogre does go for the Max Guard here. I was considering that in the back of my head, but... Oh, the Cortana goes for Aerial Ace. So we do get the Yawn off into that slot, which actually is really strong for us here. I was not expecting that, actually. So now the Kartana's forced to switch out. That Aerial Ace at about 50% there. Or not 50%, like 25 to 40%. How many turns of Tailwind did it have left? One turn of Tailwind left. Okay. So I'm just going to protect. Well, I could also just switch out here. You want to call that out? Kind of do. They do switch out Cortana. So if we could potentially take out Tornadus here with this Max Ooze, that would be huge. Kyogre double switch. What did they bring in here? Incineroar. Okay. That's fine too, because we actually did go for the Earth Power into the Incineroar slot, so that covers that option very nicely. Fortunately, that does not KO Tornadus, but now we have a +2 Gastrodon going to Earth Power into Incineroar, so that actually should take it out. Oh, it's Shuka Berry Incin. Nice. Okay. Will +2 take it out, maybe? No, it does a chunk, though. Very happy with that. So they are going to get Tailwind back up here, unfortunately. However... Oh? So I got one turn of Vine Lash after this, I believe. Or that was the last turn. Oh, no. 3 turns of Dynamax, so one more turn of Vine Lash. I believe. Let me just double check. Yes, one more turn of Vine Lash. So the Tornadus is at least going to get... So I believe it is go for Earth Power into Incineroar again, let the Tailwind go up, and play from there. Because we can't stop it. Oh, they do go for the Fake Out into the Gastro slot. Okay, smart, smart, smart. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Hail stopped now as well. Tailwind's up. Tornadus might go down. Yes, it goes down to this. I don't think Incineroar goes down to Divine Lash, though. Very close, though. It is the last turn of Divine Lash here. So, Tailwind now on their side. Kyogre does outspeed everything on my team. So that's a problem. Both of our maxes are down. So if I can position Sun here really well, this will help us for sure. Because it's going to mitigate the amount of damage. They do bring out Cortana. Okay. I'm just going to go for the Sludge Bomb into the Incineroar slot. And I'm going to swap out... I kind of don't want to swap out Gastro, though. What are they going to do? Maybe Aerial Ace Parting Shot or Leaf Blade? Who are they targeting here? Who's the bigger threat? I do see Yawn on Gastro. Bring in Charizard to threaten Cortana. Because then we can still bring it in for Kyogre late game. They do go for the Leaf Blade there. Nice. Okay. That was the correct switch then. It was definitely a 50-50 though. They also go for the Parting Shot into the Venusaur here. So that stalls another turn of Tailwind. You can go for the double protect this turn potentially. We could also switch in Gastro and or we could just switch in actually, well, let's see. Get Sludge Bomb off. That takes out Kyogre. Nice. Okay. So now we're in a really good position because we just bring in Groudon and I think we win now. Because Kyogre was the last thing that was threatening Charizard to just sweep the rest of this game. I wonder if Scorching Sands takes out Cortana. Does not. So Heat Wave is definitely the option. So I'm just going to double protect here. They have 2 turns of Tailwind here, so I'm just going to double protect. So I can waste the turn of Fake Out. I'm going to bring in Groudon into that following turn, and then I will Heat Wave, potentially win the game. But we still have all 4 Pokemon, so this is a very good position to be in currently. Let's see. All right, this should be game. And then, yeah, this is basically checkmate for them. Oh. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's checkmate. Yeah. Alright, GG. So that was a pretty solid game there. We played to our outs really well. We conserved Sun for late game. I feel like we made some pretty good switches there as well. And overall, I feel like that was a pretty good game. I'm happy with that one. I'm happy with that for sure. So that makes up a bit for that first game that we had today, but overall, not doing too terrible so far. So I believe, yeah, let's go ahead and do. Let's see. Yeah, we can do one more real quick. So we are going to get one more game in just to try and get positive for today. We're going to be playing against Drake, number 7950. So So they have a team composing. Ooh. Dawnwing's Necrozma. Interesting. Okay. Huh. So we're going to have a team of Regieleki, Urshifu, and Didi. Dawnwing, Necrozma. Grimmsnarl, and Porygon Z. Huh. I feel like Incineroar is going to be a really good lead into this team. Just to potentially stop whatever they are doing, but they do have an Indeedee. They don't seem particularly slow either. So I kind of want to lead Venusaur Charizard with Groudon in the back. Let's see. I think we bring Porygon late game. Potentially. Gastro's another decent option here as well. They don't have any Grass Mons on this team, so Gastro can kind of just sweep late game if they don't position for it. Porygon might be decent versus PZ. We could also just sleep PZ. So I'm going to lead with this. I'm going to bring Gastrodon late game to help deal with just being Gastrodon, going for Yawn Recover stuff. That's a lot of stars. Dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars on this thing. Dang. I don't even think I've completed all the achievements in this game. I need to go back and finish the Isle of Armor Pokedex as well, because that'd be pretty good. Okay, so they lead Dawnwings, Necrozma, and Didi. What are they going for here? Necrozma, oh, so Psychic Seed and Didi. Dawnwing's a Psychic Ghost. So Venusaur is kind of in trouble here, potentially. It's pretty slow, though. Might be going for Trick Room. What's its ability? Oh, Prism Armor. Okay. I'm gonna just double protect here just to see what they do, because I don't want to set up Sun and then have them set up Trick Room. Without leading, oh no, they just max. Probably going for Psyshock into the Venusaur. Oh wow, that looks cool. That looks super dope. Holy crap. That's sick. Huh. Especially here in Best of 1, knowing what they're going for is really important. I wonder what item Indeedee has. It's either Sash, Colbert Berry, or Goggles. They do go for the Mind Storm. That did a lot of damage. Okay. I know what my play is now. Play is to take out this Indeedee. Potentially also just Quake as well after setting up the Wildfire. Let's try and target the Necrozma. If they do follow me again, we set up the Wildfire, chip it down out of Prism Armor range, if I remember correctly. Is it similar to Multi-Scale, or is it just all super effective hits? Okay, okay. I for sure thought they were going to go for like Trick Room or something there, so I'm confused, to be honest, with the speed tier of this Mon. But overall, not a bad play there. Trying to basically take out Venusaur, which is an immediate threat. So, oh, they don't swap out. Or they don't follow me that turn. Interesting. They go for here. Expanding Force potentially? Max Phantasm into the Charizard. Nice. So probably going for Expanding Force as well. So that's probably really good for us. And then we can just Precipice Blades the following turn and be able to take both of them out. Nice. So we are going to lose Charizard pretty early, but now we don't have to deal with Indeedee. And we do have Venusaur in Sun now, so that's going to be very good for us. So Precipice Blades is definitely the move here, and Wildfire into the Necrozma slot potentially. Well, I'm gonna max Wildfire into Indeedee because I could expect the max guard, and it'd be really good to take Indeedee out. And if they don't max guard, Precipice Blades should take it out as long as it hits, which I believe it will. So no max guard, but we do get to Follow Me. Wildfire will take out Indeedee. So at this point, though, there's really no point in quaking since we're so low. Although it would be nice to have on Groudon. Yeah, if we live this last turn, we will quake. Oh, they go for Groudon there. Okay. Huh. So we should live here as well. Oh, that was a crit. That's unfortunate. Oh, no, we do go down there. Okay, so we do bring in Venusaur at least. So we do outspeed now in Sun, and we don't have to worry about redirections. We don't have to worry about getting counter-killed there. Could also just protect this turn, because that is the last turn of Max. Let's see here. If they do have Regieleki, we might just win. Depending on who they have. Because they didn't have any grass types. They do have Urshifu, though. Okay, so we sleep that Urshifu. I think we sleep that Urshifu. Sleep the Urshifu, go for Scald, and hope for the best. Could also potentially try and Sucker Punch us too, which would be amazing. Oh, they withdraw Necrozma. Who do they have? Regieleki? Grimmsnarl. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Urshifu does use Detect here. Okay. So if it is Sash Urshi, it is no longer Sash Urshi, which most likely it is. One more turn of Wildfire here. So I believe they can just Fake Out with Grimmsnarl here. So let's Earth Power and Protect. So we still should have at least 2 turns of Sun left. Oh, they withdraw Urshi. Okay. That's fine. Nice. I'm okay with that for sure. Then we take out Necrozma, because Urshifu potentially is their win condition here. So, do we just go for double sleep here? Go for like Sleep Powder on the Urshifu, then yawn the Grimmsnarl? They might just protect here, so we could just double up into Grimmsnarl. I'm gonna go for the double sleep. I'm gonna yawn into the Urshifu slot. Yawn into the Grimmsnarl slot, sleep out of the Urshifu, because they're trying to stall out Sun terms right now. So actually, it does make sense for them to protect. So we should have doubled up into Grimmsnarl with Earth Power Sludge Bomb. So they're trying to make sure they outspeed us. So yeah, they do have the tech. I should have went for the Sludge Bomb. That was the smarter play. They do set up Light Screen. Yeah. Yeah, I should have went for the Sludge Bomb. That was on me. We do have the double sleep on deck, though. And that probably is the last turn, if not second to last turn of Sun. Sunlight Faded, yes. Okay. So... Beyond the Urshifu slot, Sludge Bomb, Grimmsnarl. So I'm curious who they target here. Maybe Gastro? No, Venu. Okay. So I'm going to get the Yawnoff into the Urshifu slot too. We should survive at least one Wicked Blow if I remember my calc correctly. But I'm not 100% sure after the Spirit Break. Okay, so I believe the play here is to go for a Recover. Yeah, I definitely should have taken out the Grimmsnarl that last turn. So if we do survive this, you recover back up, Urshifu falls asleep, and then we go from there. Please, Gastrodon, you're the homie. Nice, let's go. And we have the Citrus Berry. On top of Recover, we should be back at full HP. Okay. The question here is, how much damage do we do? Okay. We could also go for the Scald onto the Urshifu slot. I think that's the smartest move here, because that also gets the chance to burn. If we can burn the... Oh no, we can't burn the Urshifu while it's asleep. Stupid. If it woke up. Urshifu's fast asleep. Please get the 30-turn sleep on Grimmsnarl. Damn it. Okay. We have the Spirit Break come out, neutering us even further. Maybe we can get the 3-turn sleep on the Urshifu. Or we can get a crit. That'd be sick. No crit. Special defense drop? Nice. Okay. So we have to hope for the 3-turn sleep here. Dang it. Please don't kill. Ah, dang it. But we tried. We made an attempt. So, definitely not the worst match ever, but we definitely could have played that a little better somewhere in the middle there. So, definitely something to look back on and reflect on to see what we could have done better there. But overall, definitely not disappointed with it. But that is going to do it for this episode. I appreciate everybody coming through and watching this. If you guys enjoy the content that you guys are seeing, please share it around if you can. It would really help out. You know, like, comment, and subscribe below. And yeah, I really have been enjoying doing this, so I really would appreciate if you guys can help me out. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. I will be trying to upload a bit more often now. I've been uploading like 1 time a week for the past month or two. So, but yeah, I want to be trying to upload 3 times a week now. So yeah, if you guys enjoy what you like, please just definitely share it around and like and do all that stuff. So you know how it is. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming through and watching, and you guys take it easy, all right? See you later.